Hey folks, this is Vincent Aidalee with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and once again, we're going to check out the Outlast Trials. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about $40. I gave my first impressions about a week ago, but that was strictly on the solo part of the game. I didn't have a second key. I did just receive a second key and gave it to my fiance here, and we've been playing it pretty much the entire night. So Idalee's here to weigh in on that, but I will warn you, she is recovering from a really nasty flu, so if she coughs or sounds a little bit out of sorts,
No, I'm just kidding.
no one heard that.
Oh, okay.
Discord filtered your blah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
My hacking cough.
yeah. So, I guess I should probably ask you,
hmm
what did you think of this game so far?
It's actually not too bad. I was a little scared that it would be a bit too gruesome for me, and while it is very gruesome, um, it's not as I don't want to say that it's not as crazy as it could have been because it really is. So I don't know.
I looked ahead and we
Uh-huh.
haven't actually gotten to some of the weirder things.
Uh-huh.
And that's what makes me a little nervous. Like
Uh-huh.
one of the levels we haven't done yet is I think Crush the sex toys.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Oh, and there's some other ones like the Pervert the Fetterman. Like I can only imagine some of the god awful things that you have to do in this game or are subjected to. And that's what concerns me from an adult standpoint. And I think that's a bit of a stigma, as I guess Americans, because as Americans, we have no problem watching Rambo 3, where Rambo, Sylvester Stallone, is blowing Russians out of the water. Their body count is over 400, for the first half of the movie. Limbs getting blown off. We have no problem seeing that. But when it comes to seeing stuff like this, it's like it's a big thing. So, I guess it's just an American stigma kind of thing. But
I guess it's also really nerve-wracking because there's like a line that you could possibly cross. And I think as games are coming out, they're trying to sort of not cross it, but really borderline to it. And I think this is one of those games that really tries to borderline so hard
mhm.
that it could potentially cross the line. I don't know. We'll see, I guess, once we play more.
Well, part of that problem is, to get to what you said about it crossing that line, the Outlast games themselves were
hmm
pretty violent and gruesome. So
hmm
I think this was just, they wanted to stay the course with this game and kind of do the same.
Yeah.
But what concerns me with that approach is Twitch, for example, has some fairly strict rules about showing genitalia on stream. And I'm
hmm
afraid that if I stream this game, I'm going to get dinged or banned from Twitch because male genitalia happened to be on the camera at the wrong moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because of the bad guy. One of the bad guys is completely naked and you see full frontal everything. So,
hmm
like, I see it's from a gameplay standpoint, it's not a big deal for you people that don't stream, but for streamers, it's like, well, how do we show off a game where we're restricted on what we can show? There's no my I wish there was some kind of streamer safe mode where stuff like
Yeah.
that was blurred out so that
hmm
it didn't push the envelope unless you wanted it to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or like if there's like any bestiality scenes,
Yeah, I
like
don't know that. I don't know that. We haven't seen any,
yeah,
but I'm not going to discount it either.
exactly. Like this is the type of game where you have no idea what could happen,
Right,
you know?
right. So I actually got to play with some of the rigs. Well, one of them.
Mhm.
The rig is like a special ability that you get. There's four of them, and you pick one of them to bring with you. And I love that. One person can bring this rig, and the other person can bring this rig. I have the landmine, which when the enemy steps on it, it's like a cloud of smoke and stuns them for like 20 seconds or so. I don't know.
Mhm.
And then you got the X-ray one, and I,
Yeah.
I love that we can like complement. Like you can do some X-ray scouting, and I can lay traps. I mean that's really cool. I like the team dynamic behind that.
I do too. And I'm starting to really like the X-ray. At first I was like, I don't know how useful this could be, but the more I'm using it, the the more I'm getting used to it, and it's like, okay, this guy's here, I'm gonna go the other way, So the only problem is that it's a very short um it's a short activation. So like while it has a short cooldown, kind of the by the time your ability is over, the enemy has already moved. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so it kind of makes it moot, but I cannot wait until I upgrade it and so it could become much stronger.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I even though I found the game to be gory and at times inappropriate for streaming, I'm actually really enjoying this. It's my only frustration with it is like I don't know where I'm going half the time.
Hmm.
There's definitely like I wish there was a map. Like I keep trying to hit M to open up a map to see where I'm at. I would
Hmm.
love a map. So like again, I'm one of those people like yeah, I'm guessing if you play the level enough, you'll know where everything is. But I am I'm supposedly called a variety streamer where I or a
Hmm.
content creator where I play a lot of games. I just don't focus on one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have time to sit here and memorize a map for this game. I really don't.
Hmm.
I think this game needs an in-game mini map and a map, one that you can toggle on or off. You know, maybe if you toggle it on, you lose points at the end, but at least it's it's friendly for people that like that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's another feature I would have loved to have seen.
I absolutely agree. I think, especially with maps like this, where there's so many different little shortcuts, there's so many different ways that you can go. There's entrances and exits everywhere. And what's awesome is that there's all these different doors that you have to bash.
Hmm.
And I love the co-op activities that you could do, like the you have to bash like these double doors with your teammate or climbing over ledges with your teammate. I think that is so cool.
Hmm. And one thing to note in solo, there was none of that.
Mm.
Those doors were, I think, by default open automatically. Like
Oh.
there was no co-op door when I was playing solo. I don't remember those parts of the level. So it's like
Mm.
I guess if you're playing with someone, the computer throws it in there as an extra thing that you have to do to sort of encourage play. But if you're playing solo, I think those doors are like either open by default or just become a regular door. I don't know how that works, but
Hmm.
that is a thing.
Okay.
By the way, I love like we came across a monster that I really liked. It's like a mimic. At first, I thought it was you, but it wasn't you because I looked at your name and it had like pony slake stack slack stash and whatever with a
Yeah.
colon happy face like an ASCII happy face kind of thing colon
Yeah.
parent. I love I don't know why, but like Ophrys from Forewarned,
Hmm.
anything that has to do with a mimic where it can mimic other players, I love stuff like that. And I don't know why, but I think that was done just well done. And the other monsters we ran into, one was blind as another example, so that was kind of fun trying to get around them as they did their thing.
Hmm.
Did you have any favorite monsters, or was that just?
They're all a pain in the butt, but it's fun
Mm-hmm.
because it's a game like that. But what was funny is that the first time I saw the mim, I'm just gonna call it the mimic from here on out.
Yeah.
But the first time I saw the mimic, it said Dad's game, and then it had the stars and the asterisks and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was just a bug on my end, so I was actually running towards it. So I was trying to run
Mm-hmm.
towards you, or what I thought was you, to get away from the monster that was chasing me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea until you said, "Oh my God, why are you stabbing me?" And I'm like, "I'm not stabbing you. I'm over here. I'm on the other side of the map."
Mhm. I think that goes back to like what you said. This game is constantly surprising you.
Hmm.
So yeah, I on one hand, I want to see what the game does next, but on the other hand, I'm afraid to see what it does next. Like, because I'm pretty conservative. I
Yeah,
grew up a pretty conservative person, like proper,
yeah.
proper manners. All and to see a game like this, it's like it pushes my comfort level a little bit. Makes me uncomfortable because of
Yeah,
that.
I mean that's how art is, I guess with video game
I
developers.
guess
They're always trying to push that shock value, you know.
I'm not a prude, but I prefer not to see it.
Yeah,
you know?
I can understand that to some degree, but at the same time, it's a video game, and you have to understand that it's all fake, it's all a bunch of BS and it's just for video gaming, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Mhm.
that's what I try to get into my head. And at the same time, if there is something that I really, really don't like, then I'll probably voice my conniptions there, you know.
Mhm. Was there anything so far that you've played that you really just absolutely do not like at all?
Not yet,
No,
but I know it's
it's come.
coming.
There is a level
Yes, it's
that
coming.
there's a title. I think it was "Find the Children of God" or something like that.
Yeah.
And as a Christian, I can imagine that would be pushing some buttons for you.
That's gonna be annoying, for sure. I'm hoping that there's like no real like child abuse stuff. Like that would make me very sad, you
Yeah,
know.
or animal abuse stuff like that. That would
Yeah.
make me super uncomfortable because I'm not an animal activist, but if I saw an animal on the side of the road that needed help, I would stop.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
It yeah, it's like we play the Tom Clancy Division 2, right? And I shoot the deer in there, and even doing that breaks my heart. I don't like
Yeah,
doing that.
I don't. I personally do not shoot the animals in Division, but you.
I do it because it's a video game and I want to see what kind of effects that the developers have done for it.
For
But if I,
science, yes.
yeah, but if I see that in this game, oh, that's gonna break my heart.
Hmm. One thing I would like to have seen are shorter missions, like smaller maps. And I don't know how that can be done with how crazy this game can get, but like all of our play sessions were at least 20, 25, 30 minutes. And
Mhm.
I favor games that I can play in like 10, 15 minute spouts, maybe even 5 minutes. I would love a smaller map that I could play that would somehow still be fun and challenging every time you play it. Maybe like a randomized layout so that you can't get used to it,
Yeah,
but at least it's smaller and you can get through it quickly, but still have to like get around enemies and stuff. Like the police station at one point, like I didn't know where the heck I was supposed to go. I was running around constantly, like trying to figure out where you are and where you're going while trying to get around monsters because that is so annoying. Like
yeah.
it's so slow and frustrating.
I,
Um,
I do wish that there was less monsters. Like if there was just one big baddie, hunting you
mhm.
constantly,
But then
that
you
would
can
be
cheese it. One person can just
true.
run constantly while the others do the entire mission.
Well,
And
that's kind of what happened because I don't think I did like a single thing.
yeah.
Of all the missions that we played together, you were the one that was really like going mission heavy, and I was just trying not to die. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, yeah. Well, you were gung ho about what you were doing. You didn't stealth much. Like you ran into the light constantly. It was just yeah. So you
I
were the bait. Mhm.
I have my goggles on almost all the time, so I don't know what's light and what's dark.
Oh,
Like,
jeez.
but I also wish that the waypoints did not disappear when you got too far away from it. Like,
Yeah.
because I know the waypoints they finally show up once you're closer.
Like the question marks. Like when you can search
Hmm.
bodies for keys. Like
Hmm.
I don't know where they are. Like again, that goes back to not having a map or mini map or anything to mark. Like
Hmm.
if I had a map that I could hit M for, oh, it's over here. Even if it's not like directly on my screen, if it were at least on a map somewhere that I can reference, and then I
Hmm.
could see my arrow, which way am I pointing? Okay, it's in this direction. I just need to head. I would love a map. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So anyway, um,
This
mhm.
this reminds me so much of GTFO, but easier, way easier.
GTFO feels more like Left 4 Dead than
Really?
well, I mean, like it's a shooter. It's a first-person shooter. This is a game where you really don't have any weapons aside
Yeah,
from the
but
rig and
true. But in GTFO, you also have missions, and it's very team heavy, and you have to like actually coordinate and go through the dark, you know?
yeah.
And it's very stealth. Oh, it's such a stealth game. In this game, excuse me, in this game, you really do have to take stealth into priority. But I was also thinking, maybe you can just run, run through things like, if you see the body that you have to search, just run like crazy and then hide. And then once he goes, then like go to the body that you know where it is. I don't
Hmm.
know.
I
That's
I've
mhm.
seen videos where people are speed running levels in like minutes.
Oh, awesome. That means I can do it too.
Well, I know you can. I just that ruins it for me. But at the same,
Okay.
like, that's what like it comes down to how quickly can you memorize these maps.
Mm-hmm.
You knowing what to do. Okay, 5 seconds in, when I get to this spot, I drop my mine, and
Yeah.
then he goes over it, and now I go over here. He's got 20 seconds, but now you have to upgrade your mine to really get through the level faster, to stun him longer,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of thing. It's
Yeah.
just so you can speed run these levels. It's just like you either have to learn the maps or do like an online guide, which,
Mm-hmm.
because you like to have an A+ in everything, and we are graded in this, I'm sure you're going to be doing that on your off time.
Most likely. But it's funny because when I play games like this, I have to go gung ho because I have a very weak heart. And if I try to stealth everywhere and be like, you know, really quiet and then something surprises me, I will have a heart attack. So I have to just go all in, get scared right off the bat, and,
Become desensitized to it.
exactly,
Yeah.
and hope
Well,
for the best.
I mean, when we play, the noises that come, I'm glad Discord cuts you out, because you sound like Goofy falling down a mountain. Like the.
Yeah. Well, they scare me enough that my goofy comes out,
Yeah, I
so.
see that. Yeah. So I guess like I don't know if I'm ready to quote unquote review this yet. I'm gonna leave this as like impressions of co-op, and overall the impressions are good. Like the multiplayer was pretty seamless. I invited you. You came right into my lobby. We arm wrestled. That was the first thing. We played chess, and then we arm wrestled in the lobby area. And I think you had more fun doing that, I think, than some of the other things in this game.
I love the arm wrestling. I just think it is so fun. I don't know, trying to hit those stupid little brackets, and then every time you beat me, it was like, no, I gotta do it again.
Yeah.
No. And it was just so quick and really intense, and
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really fun.
Mm-hmm. I playing this with 4 people would be fun. I don't know if it scales though. Like, I don't know if more monsters come out, or like it
Oh my
gets. I don't
gosh.
know. And I'd be interested to see if it does, or if solo really is just harder because it doesn't scale.
Oh
But
my gosh.
so I mean, it's just solo's doable. It just takes longer.
That would be so insane if more monsters came out, like the more players there are. I think we would just be surrounded by monsters at all times at
Hmm.
that point.
Yeah. Well, the one challenge that we did, there were monsters everywhere. I
Yeah.
can't imagine. I don't think it scales that way, to be honest with you, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be interested in like this. I don't think I would run with randoms, but if I had a friend that played this, or like one of my followers that I would talk to on a regular basis on Discord,
Hmm.
if they played this and were good at it, I would probably join them. Like, it's not typical of me, because I typically either play solo or with you, or
Hmm.
with Vinny or something, because I a close family and friends. That's who I game with. But rarely do I play with community. But I would play community just because, like, it's just, I feel like this is the kind of game that is suited for that. If that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
Like Deep Rock Galactic.
Deep Rock, right? Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, would you, based on what you've played so far, your first impressions are good, or just or
Very, I would say very good. Very good. Because I want to keep playing. I want to keep leveling up. I think the progression is a really big hook, line, and sinker.
yeah, if there was no progression, I probably wouldn't play it as much,
Hmm.
because I mean, I have one rig and I'm upgrading it right now to make my mine more powerful. So like, but you get more points for leveling as you level up your profile. So like, now I'm forced to play and level up my profile to upgrade my mine more. There's also those stupid pharmacy things, the prescriptions, I think they're called, that are permanent buffs for your character. I want to
Hmm.
get all those. And you can't even get to tier 2 until you unlock all of tier 1. So it's
Wow.
like, I want to keep playing so I can become. I want to unlock everything.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, the sanity kills me every time. I hate the stupid sanity. Like I love the concept and I love the art and the graphics, but man, that is so like
When you go into
I don't
full
even.
psychosis, it's just these mists and these monsters just start like coming out of the ground at you. It's so
Yeah,
freaky.
And you cannot like fight them. That's what's so frustrating is that you have to find an antidote. Otherwise, you are just SOL. It
Mm-hmm.
stinks.
Yep.
That was my last thought.
Okay. Well, there you go, folks. Another quick first impressions of the Outlast trials. Still pricey. So if you can find it on a sale, absolutely grab it. If assuming you like this kind of thing, just again, my earlier statements, I have to say it. You know, if you're okay with paying $40, great. But be mindful that there are a lot of adult themes in this game. There's gore, there's blood, there's decapitation, there's nudity. There may be some like uncomfortable fetish stuff in here, which I'm pretty sure there are. So, like, just be warned, this game may make you uncomfortable if you're a more conservative kind of person. But I still recommend it, but with those caveats in mind. So, all right, well, this is Vincent Aidalee. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next time. Take care.
Bye, guys.